All right, you see criminal liability and so on, penal code and so on. This one we will talk about it later when we talk about substantive law and procedure law. So we have just mentioned common law. What other things you need to note about common law? There are two terms called the decidendi, the ratio decidendi and the obiter dictum. Check out your notes to see the meaning of ratio decidendi or obiter dictum. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the meaning. I actually want you to go and research on it. But in short, ratio decidendi sometimes is being referred to as legal principle, or a legal principle, which is a principle and it becomes a law. That is the ratio decidendi is the reason for the judge's decision. When the judges make a decision, okay, I will fine you 50,000. Okay, the legal reasoning of theirs is called the ratio decidendi. So when you read the judgment, see if you can find out where is the ratio decidendi of a judge. Then the other term that is called the obiter dictum. This is, in our layman English, we call it a saying in passing. That means to say an obiter dictum is not the reason for the decision. Right? Sometimes judges, they just mention something in their judgment, but those that's mentioned by him is not the legal reasoning. It's not for him to decide the judgment. He's just saying in passing. Okay? Let's see what else we have in common law. If you look at the website, I give you some summary of case, and if you look at the course notes, page 3, I give you some cases that will be used in this chapter. I mentioned that. If you look at your course notes now, you can see the case of public prosecutor against Sheikh Mustafa Romel, and you also have public prosecutor against the V, we call it against, or sometimes people like to say versus, public prosecutor against Sheikh Mustafa Romel. But if you see there are two Sheikh Mustafa's case. But if you look at the numbers behind Sheikh Mustafa, you see 2015 SGDC 51. Then the other one is 2015 SGHC 117. What are they? These are references, or more accurately referred to as citation. And I'll be talking about citation later also. It is at the end of the subchapters. All right, now we are just recapping. Other than the Sheikh Mustafa Romel case, you can see also the public prosecutor against Panir Selvam and Anor. Anor is actually another. And they have the citation also 2018, SGHC, and 63. So you see SGDC, SGHC, SGHC. By SG, I think all of them know it depicts Singapore. Alright, Singapore. Then DC is the level of court. In this juncture, it is the district court. HC, High Court, right? And if you see CA, Court of Appeal. We'll be talking about that much later. Alright. Let's go back to the page 3 of your course note. Those cases that I gave you as an example. I put down there the Holland Village robbery. This is a robbery case by some foreigners. They robbed Holland Village, one of the banks, and recently this guy has been extradited by UK to Singapore, and the trial is ongoing now as I'm recording this. All right. The last case is Lau Cheng Kai and others against public prosecutor. All right. So Lau Cheng Kai, that means the Lau Cheng Kai is taking some action against the public prosecutor. That means he wants to do something. That means he's not happy with what the public prosecutor did. Okay. So the cases I show you, you will see prosecutor, 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 or prosecutor. So that tells you they are criminal case. When someone commit a crime and he's being charged, the government's lawyer, called the prosecutor or the public prosecutor, will take action against them in court. And then when you see the judgment at the first instance court means the first court they appear for the trial, for the case, will be someone who take action against someone who is defending. Here, the one who take action is the public prosecutor. the government's lawyer. That against, for example, Sheikh Mustafa Romel is being charged. By who? By the government. Why government? Because it's a criminal case. Whenever there's a criminal case, you go to court, the the lawyer representing the government will be the public prosecutor. Alright, but you see two Sheikh Mustafa Romel there. But the level of court is different. The level of court, one is district court, the other one is the high court, SGTC and SGHC, right? That means to say during the district court, if you read the judgment, I think I put I put the the brief fact of that case in the website notes. If you have not read it, go and read it. Otherwise, later I will teach you how to go and find this case in our library law portal. Okay, so the Sheikh Mustafa case is a corruption case. This guy is a surveyor. He's being greedy. He's supposed to survey or inspect an oil tanker before the oil tanker is allowed to enter one of the oil terminals in Singapore. The vessel has to pass the inspection. But this guy, this surveyor, asks money. He gives a list of non-conformity. That means a list of defects, saying that the ship is no good, this no good, that no good. But he tells the captain, hey, you give me money, I will delete off all these defect lists. Then you can go to the terminal, right? Of course, the captain gave in. Although the captain gave in, he was quite smart. He reported to the authority or his company. That is why when the second time the ship coming to Singapore, going to the oil terminal, they specifically arranged for the same surveyor to be on board. And the Corruption Bureau, the Corruption Prevention and Investigation Bureau, the CPIB Singapore, ambushed this surveyor and they caught him red-handed for the second time asking money from the ship's captain. So they charged him in the district court. When they charged him in the district court, the district judge actually sentenced Sheikh Mustafa to 2 months, if I'm not wrong, 2 months imprisonment, right? But then the public prosecutor, the government lawyer is not happy. 2 months, only 2 months. How can it be 2 months? The judge must sentence more, imprisonment, stay in jail more, right? Longer. That's why the public prosecutor appealed. When he appealed, the higher court will take over the appeal. They started with the district court, right? SGDC. Then during the appeal, the higher court, which the SGHC or Singapore High Court, take over the appeal. Who appealed? The public prosecutor. Why did he appeal? He's not happy with the district court or district judge's decision. Only 2 months jail. They want more jail. Not more jail, longer jail term, right? And guess what? In the appeal, the public prosecutor won. Okay? The public prosecutor won. And then from 2 months, Sheikh Mustafa was sentenced to about 6 months. If I'm not wrong, 6 months. Look at the judgment. It's quite an interesting case. So don't be naughty. Be a good person. Be a good citizen. All right. Money is important, but that is not the way to make money, like what Sheikh Mustafa did. All right. And the last one, the Lau Cheng Kai case, is also about corruption case. This is about bunker. People stealing bunker. If you don't know what is bunker, you should know. If you don't know what is bunker, also you ask me. I'm not going to explain what is bunker. This Lau Cheng Kai, again, they conspire with other people, tell the chief engineer, the captain on the ship, to lie about the bunker quantity they receive. Meaning they are supposed to bunker, let's say 1,000 ton. But they did not bunker 1,000 ton. They did not. They bunker lesser, assuming they bunker 700 ton. But they asked the captain and the chief engineer to record they received 300 ton. That means they themselves pocketed the 300 ton. All right, and by doing that, they want to brag the captain and chief engineer. All right, to do this thing. Of course, they got caught now. But now you see, Lau Cheng Kai is taking against public prosecutor. So did this tell you it is an appeal case also? That means when they go to court, they started with the Singapore District Court, just like Sheikh Mustafa case just now. All right. I did not put in the first instance court there. I still put the appeal, Lau Cheng Kai appeal. So this Normally in Singapore, when you appeal, they will put the appellant. Appellant means the party who appeal, name on the left hand side. Then V against, or someone you like to use versus someone. Alright, so all these things are criminal case, and it tells us to earn an honest living and not do what Sheikh Mustafa did or Lau Chen Kai did. Okay, so that is common law. Of course, in this judgment, if you read this judgment, you will see the judges, they refer to a lot of previous judgment. Like the Sheikh Mustafa case, to increase from 2 months to 6 months. The judge cannot suka say, oh, okay, let's increase. Yeah, the corruption is no good. Let's increase. You will see the judge use many other previous judgment. Other previous judgment sentenced to how many months, that judgment sentenced to how many months, and which one he thinks is appropriate and is relevant to his present case, he apply. When he apply, that is common law, a case law. That's why common law is also termed as judge-made law. Alright, judge-made law, made from where? Made in where? In the judgment. That is why you cannot buy a copy of common law. You cannot go bookshop or any law library or what to say. Oh, there's a common law book. Textbook, yes, there is a textbook, but you cannot find a book that tell you, oh, if you flat this guy or you langa this guy, there's a book tell you what is the claim and so on. Common law is actually judge-made law. Where you find the law, you find them in judgments, and these are judgments are called case laws. Understand? I hope I'm not too fast. Anyway, this is a video recording. If I'm too fast, you can replay, right? Or you see and already, you can forward. Okay, judgment, sorry, not judgment, common law. In your notes also, I mentioned civil law. That one, I leave it to you to go and do a mini research. Okay, next, I think you're talking too much about common law. Next one in the Singapore legal system is statute and subsidiary legislation. All right, statute and subsidiary legislation. Sorry, I didn't show you the slide just now. Judicial precedent, or it calls stare decisis, right? That's common law. That means refer to the previous judgment, a precedent. Then I also mentioned to you ratio decidendi, the reason for the judge's decision in his judgment. And I also mentioned to you obiter dictum, all right, a saying in passing, the saying from the judge that does not constitute the reason for his decision, all right. Yeah, common law. Okay, I show you a snail. Now this is just to show you common law, but this will be in the chapter 2 when we do tort law under negligence. All right, negligence, we will be talking about a snail case, snail in the ginger beer. Okay, this one is the underwear, no pun intended, because there's a case called Grant against Australian Knitting Mill, because this is an underwear case. So very similar to the snail case, is a negligent case. The underwear case this case happened in Australia. Someone went to buy the underwear or undergarment. After wearing, his whole body got rashes and he was hospitalized. Then he sued the manufacturer of the undergarment. All right, by suing the manufacturer of the undergarment, he used the snail case. Remember, judicial precedent, use a previous case to help him win. I will not talk much about this, but when we do tort law, I will elaborate further. But I want to have a disclaimer. All right, this underwear picture here is for the purpose I just mentioned just now. All right, it's no pun intended. If you feel offended, please let me know, and if it's necessary, I will remove this image from this slide. Okay. Civil law, as mentioned just now, is not here. We are a common law country. All right, I will explain why we are not a civil law country or civil law system country. Civil law system country is their laws are all in publication. For example, contract, you can buy a contract law. All right, all about contract is all written down by their government. But in Singapore, contract law is a common law. Our government don't write down what is contract law. Then how to know how does contract law apply? Common law. All right, we will elaborate further there later when we talk about substantive law, procedural law, or in week 3 when we talk about contract law. Okay, as of now, just hold the rope. It's okay. last one is about constitution. Constitution is oh no, I haven't talked about statute. Yeah. Sorry. Let's talk about statute first. Statute actually means acts of parliament also. That's why you see the word parliament here, right? Parliament being mentioned. And who's in the parliament? Our president. All right, our president is there, and this group of people there, they are the members of parliament. So statute is act of parliament, meaning it is a law that made by member of parliament, right? When you reach the age to be qualified for general election or to vote in a general election, you are actually voting for the lawmaker, right? The lawmakers, they are the members of parliament, or in within the context wise, the term is called legislature. All right, legislature, they are the members of parliament, they are the parliamentarian, they are the lawmakers. So remember, when you go voting next time in the general election, you are actually voting a lawmaker. You want to vote someone who can make good laws, right? Not someone who will make a chin chai law. Then the citizen or the people suffer. All right. And act of parliament, of course, there's lawmaking process. In Singapore, when someone want to introduce a new law, it's called tabling a new law, and then that potential law is called a bill, bill, bill. All right. So someone wants to table a bill, they have to undergo a lawmaking process, start off from first reading. All right, first reading. In the first reading, I will call it an introductory stage. Of course, you have to read the material I gave you. It's more elaborative. What I'm talking now is I'm using a layman term, a simple to understand term and English, right? So the first reading is just an introductory stage. Somewhat so and so and say, okay, I want to introduce this law. Okay, wearing yellow shirt every Monday law. Okay, this is a lame example. So he tabled a bill. Then after the first reading, nothing happened. It's just introduction. Introduced. Then during the second reading, is a more vigorous, more active stage. All right, quite active. I call it a debate stage. A debate stage. This is the time when there will be a lot of debate. People will be asking you, why you want to introduce this law? What's so good about this law? Why section so and so you want this? Why section so and so you want that? I don't agree with this. I want it deleted. Wow, a lot of debate and so on. So after the second reading, after the debate, everything is okay. Then it will go to the third reading. Right? In the third reading, I call it a fine-tuning stage. A fine-tuning. That means after second reading, because second reading passed, so you go to third reading. If second reading fail, that bill will just be forgotten already. All right? It's not that simple, of course. In the website, I give you the link, and in your course notes, page 18 onwards, I also show you first reading, third reading. So after the fine-tuning stage, the third reading, then everybody will vote for the bill to go ahead to be a law or not. So they vote, they say, oh, okay, everything is sui, satisfactory, okay. Go to the next stage. Not past yet, there is still a next stage. The next stage is called the Presidential Council for Minority Rights, in short PCMR. Why do you have to go through this stage? Because Singapore is a multiracial country. All right, our government do not want, or rather the legislature or our constitution does not want. I will explain what is constitution later. The constitution do not want a law that will disadvantage the minority. It will advantage the majority but disadvantage the minority. You know, like in Singapore, majorities are the Chinese, the 华人. All right, the minority are the non-Huaran. So Presidential Council for Minority Rights consists of many minority people. They can be religious people, ex-judges or present judges, all these very high-profile people. So when you go to the Presidential Council for Minority Rights, they will want to check, hey, this bill, will this bill disadvantage the minority or not? What do you mean by disadvantage of the minority? For example, a law that compel certain religion to do something that's against their religion, correct? We cannot have such a law. So the Presidential Council for Minority Rights, they will check. After check, they find, okay, minority is not being disadvantaged and it's a good law, blah, blah, blah. Finally, they will go to the last stage. Singapore lawmaking process has got 5 stages, okay? The Presidential Council for Minority Rights is the 4th. The last one is the Presidential Assent, okay? Presidential Assent. Okay, as you know, President Halimah Yacob is our president. She will do the assent, that means agree. Agree, she chop lah, agree. After that, after the presidential assent, then the bill become an act. Alright, the bill become an act. Alright, it's no longer called bill. Example, like let's say merchant shipping bill. Many years ago, people want to table a new law for merchant shipping. So they started on merchant shipping bill. After the 5 stages gone, Sri President chop, then it becomes merchant shipping act. Understand? So next time when you call an act, that means it's a what? It's a statute. It's an act of parliament. It's a law that is created by parliament. But we don't use the word created or developed. We say it's a law enacted by parliament. Understand? So that's statute or acts of parliament. Be careful, in the exam, don't write statute. Okay? Statutes, not statue. You know what statue, right? Okay, I remember I didn't explain what is constitution. Just now we mentioned Singapore legal system consists of common law. Then I talked to you about statutes and subsidiaries statute first. And I mentioned a little bit on constitution, right? Constitution is also part of our Singapore legal system. Constitution is a law, a very powerful law. It's a supreme law of the land. Supreme means highest. That means to say, if there's a conflict between common law and constitution, the constitution will prevail. If there's a conflict between statutes and the constitution, of course, the what? The what? The constitution prevail. Alright? So constitution, I call it a law that govern the government. It is my definition. Don't write that in the exam. Right? What do I mean by a law that govern the government? They tell the government every 5 years, then you do general election. Every 6 years, then you do the presidential election. Correct? You have there's a freedom of religion. Alright, so the government cannot force the people to adopt whatever religion. The constitution they have a freedom for religion. They have a freedom of speech. Alright, there is freedom of speech in Singapore. It's mentioned in the constitution. Alright, so you don't believe, you can go and download the constitution. It's free of charge. Then you go and find Article 14. Right? Anyway, we're not going to debate about those. Just to give you some example. So this constitution, they tell you how to select, have election, what is the power of a president, the prime minister, and so on. That's why it's a law that governs the government, so that the government will not do anything in their whims and fancy. Cannot. Alright, we also don't want that. We want a good, fair government. So the constitution is very, very important. Okay. So under the constitution, just now we mentioned what? Members of parliament, right? The constitution also tell you our country will have the 3 organs of the state. 3 organs means, just now we mentioned the members of parliament. Alright. Usually during the general election, the winning political party will form the government of the day. As we know, Singapore is a PAP, right? So the next general election is coming. So assuming if the PAP were to win the election again out of majority, that means majority they win. Not really majority, two-third majority they win. They can form the government again. Alright, after they form the government, Then the head of PAP, usually the head of PAP what do they call it? Do they call it chairman or what? Okay, never mind. He will be the prime minister. Okay, of course he can choose not to be a prime minister. He let other people be lah. Then the prime minister, he will choose his members of parliament. Sorry, not members of parliament, his cabinet ministers. He will choose, okay, so and so you become the minister of transport. So and so you are the law minister. So and so you are the home affairs minister. So and so you are the foreign affairs minister. You are the education minister, and the list goes on. Right? Only the winning party they can form the government of the day. It's called the cabinet minister. Okay. So the rest of the MP who is not the minister, they are called the backbenchers. Backbenchers. It's like someone sitting behind. That's why some of you attend class. Some of you like to sit behind the class, right? I will call you backbenchers also. Okay, the third organ of the state. Just now we mentioned about the cabinet minister, right? They are called the executive. Just like the members of parliament, they are called the legislature. So the cabinet ministers or the ministers who run the ministries, they are called the executive. Or sometimes you hear executive government. Then the third organ of the state is the judiciary. The judges. Okay, the judges, they are the judiciary. Okay, are they lawmakers? Yeah, they are also lawmakers. Remember common law. Through common law, they are the one who make the decision. They implement the law. They interpret the law. Although they read the Act of Parliament, they have to interpret the Act of Parliament, follow the Act of Parliament or the statute, and make their decision for the merit, based on the merit of the case. Okay, so as you can see, so this one is the what in the Parliament, of course. Let's see if I miss anything. Okay, this is just another some picture to tell the Supreme Court. If you don't know where is the Supreme Court, it's just opposite Funan. And you see this tall building here. Actually, this is a new state court. All right, the new state court. State court used to be called subordinate court. They changed their name a few years back, and this lower building was an old state court, and this taller building here is a new state court. So now you go to state court, you go to this high building. Their courtroom is all inside here. Of course, these are the judiciary, the judges. These are the judges of the Supreme Court. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the court. I want you to read yourself. What is the difference between Supreme Court and the State Court? All right, it can come out in the exam anyway, but have a look, and probably during tutorial, or if you have any question, you can ask me. All right, Supreme Court and State Courts, it is not a court by itself. All right, you don't say, oh, I want to sue you in the Supreme Court. No such thing, because inside the Supreme Court you will find a court of appeal, a high court, a Singapore International Commercial Court. All right, so yeah, I will say I will sue you in the high court. I don't say I will sue you in the Supreme Court, or I will appeal to the Court of Appeal. All right, you don't say I will appeal in the Supreme Court. All right, how can you sue me in the Singapore High Court? There are certain criteria. This part I want you to go and read yourself. Same thing. How do I sue you in the State Court? In which situation I sue you in the State Court and not the Supreme Court? Or I sue you in the State Court but not in the High Court. But again, State Court is not a court by itself. State Court is a structure, consists of District Court, Magistrate Court, Small Claim Tribunal. What else? I suddenly can't remember. Never mind, you refer to your notes and you go and read. Because I give you a table comparison between Supreme Court and State Court. I give you a table that has all the courts inside them, and you read and see the difference. All right. Let's see what other slides I'm having. All right. 1.4. Okay. Okay. We are finishing already. Very tired. 30 minutes already. No, I'm not tired. I know you are tired. Okay. Law reports. Just now we mentioned judgment, right? You may see the mentioning of law report. This law report is not about someone writing a report about law. It's not. It's actually a judgment. When a judge concluded the trial or the case in court, he usually he usually write judgment. The judgment consists of his decision, who's right, who's wrong. Not only decision, don't forget his judgment consists of ratio decidendi, right? Remember ratio decidendi? The legal principle of his decision. It consists also obiter dictum in the judgment. He's saying in passing. And it also consider judicial precedent. He will refer to previous judgment. So when you read the judgment, you will definitely see these three things inside. Later stage when we do tutorial, I'm going to give you a case. Then inside the case, then we will point out where is the judicial precedent, where is the ratio, where is the obiter, all right, and where is statute. Some case have got statute inside. Some case have even subsidiary legislation. That will be in the tutorial. Okay, I'm going to give you a one-page case, a very, my word, sorry to say that, a silly case, unnecessary. They have to get themselves into trouble. So in every judgment, there will be a referencing. There will be a reference. In judgment, you know, there will be a title, right? A against B or A versus B. And remember, if you remember just now, I talked about the Sheikh Mustafa case, the Lau Ching Kai case. You see their reference, right? You see 2015, SGDC, and so on, correct? Those are the reference. Reference, a systemic reference, so that they know this judgment comes first, after this, sequential reference. But we don't call it reference. The more appropriate term, we call it a citation. Okay, citation. Understand? Citation, And citation, we are going to read about. There are two types of citation. The first type is called a neutral citation. All right, neutral citation. So what is a neutral citation? If you look at chapter 1.5 or section 1.5 of your notes, it basically say a neutral citation is a court-approved system of citation which is independent of the series of law reports or other publication and unique to each written judgment. And each written judgment from a particular level of court is assigned a sequential number starting from 1 at the beginning of each calendar year. So it's basically a judgment. When the judgment is passed out, the first document, that tell you the judgment. And the citation is usually, you see, the citation, you see here. This case is ABC Company Private Limited against XYZ Company Limited. It's a fictitious case. I just simply put something. And for neutral citation, the year here is the year of decision. That means in this case was decided in the year 2003. Who decided? Look at here, SGCA. So you know SG is Singapore, CA is Court of Appeal, right? So Singapore Court of Appeal that is given this judgment. And alamak, what is this? Sorry, I need to use the eraser. Okay. After that, you see the 5, right? The 5 is basically means the 5th. Okay, the 5th Singapore Court of Appeal case. The 5th Singapore Court of Appeal case decided in 2013. This is a sequential number. The next Court of Appeal case in 2003 will be 6, right? Okay, let's look at the second example, the Chem Orchid 2015 SGHC 50. Okay, let's forget about the Chem Orchid first. Tell me, what is 2015? Remember, I said the year here is the year of decision. Alright, decision. Sorry, my handwriting. Okay, the year of decision. Who make the decision? Singapore what? What did she see? Singapore High Court. Okay, how about the sequence number? How many Singapore High Court case already being decided in 2015? The word 50 here tell you 50th. Okay, 50th. So let's go back to the top one again, the ABC case. Let me take out the eraser. Okay, where's the eraser? How come never come out? Okay, we take out the eraser, erase. Okay, let's come out. Let's look at the ABC case here again. So here you say is ABC Company Private Limited. This is a case of ABC Company Private Limited and XYZ Company Limited decided by the Singapore Court of Appeal in 2003. It is a fifth Singapore Court of Appeal case. Right? This is how you can explain. Now the second example, you see the CAM orchid. Whenever you see the something, 99.9999999% they are shipping case. Alright? The something, that something is the name of the ship or the ship's name. So in this case, the ship's name is CAM orchid. Therefore, you can explain this is a shipping case involving the ship CAM orchid decided in 2015 by the Singapore High Court. How to explain 50? It is a 50th Singapore High Court case. Okay, so that's neutral citation. That is published by the government. In Singapore, it is published by the Singapore Academy of Law. Right? You are able to find them in the LawNet. I'll talk about LawNet later. Next citation is called a case citation. After judgment being published in the neutral citation format, all right, the Singapore Academy of Law will publish again the same judgment but in a law report format. Okay, law report format. They will have their respective people to not to rewrite. Okay, the content, everything they cannot rewrite. All right, but probably they just make it easier for reference. They just organize the whole judgment. They even take out who are the lawyer, who the defendant, and what are the case they refer. They have specific section for us for the reader to easily reference. Okay, but the content is the same. They cannot change the judge's content. Example, for example, you see this one, this STX Mumbai 20143 SLR. Now you see SLR, you see very different citation, right? Of course, you have the year, but you don't have SG anymore. You see SLR. SLR means Singapore Law Report. So how are you going to explain this? Remember, I tell you the something means the something is a ship, right? And SLR is a Singapore Law Report. It basically tell you it's published in a Singapore Law Report format. How about the word 3 here? 3 SLR. 3 here means volume 3. Right? Volume 3. There are a few volumes, usually 5 volumes per year in the Singapore Law Report publication. How about 1116 here? Just now the number on the neutral citation is the sequence, right? But now the number in the case citation format is no longer a sequence. The 1116 here is page 1116. And the year here, in neutral citation, we say is a year of decision, right? The year when the judge make the decision. But for the law report side, the year is no longer a decision year, but the year when they publish the law report. Okay, remember the year when they publish the law report. So combine all the elements that I've explained, we can explain that, this is a shipping case involving the ship called STX Mumbai. This case is published in volume 3 of the Singapore Law Report, starting from page 1116 in year 2014. Okay, if you cannot catch me, you replay the video. All right, I don't want to waste time. Let's look at the next example. The next example, very similar to the STX Mumbai, right? But they have an R here after SLR. They have a bracket R. This bracket R basically means reissue. What do you mean by reissue? If you look at your notes, chapter 1.5.2.2, you will see the explanation there. Okay, you will see the explanation there. You know, Singapore, we got independent in 1965. So since 1965, they have been publishing law report. Okay, but at that time, since 1965 until the year 2009, the format of the Singapore Law Report is very different. It's very different. After 2009, they have decided to change to a new format. They decided to change to a new format. That's why if you see 2010 onwards, all the new format law report uh, is a new format. But those Singapore law report from 1965 to 2009 is also changed to the new format. But because they changed to the new format, right, they have to rename the citation. They cannot follow the old citation. They have to rename by putting bracket R. That means they reissue. Okay, they reissue. Okay, let me use this case to explain. Marina Offshore against China Insurance, blah, blah, blah. 20164 SLR reissue 689. Meaning to tell you, you see, the year is 2006, is before 2009, correct? So if you look at the original 2006 judgment, you will definitely see the different format as compared to this 2006. Oh, what happened? Okay, I repeat. If you look at the old 2006 law report, the one with SLR, you will see the format definitely different from this one. This one I highlighted, this one, the 2064 SLR reissue. Okay, but content is still the same. The judge's content you cannot change. It's just the format. Okay, because 2006, and the new format only come after 2009, right? So they have to reissue it. When they reissue it, everything is the same except the format. Remember, everything is the same except the format. So how do you explain this then? If people were to ask you, not to worry lah. You see, it is a case between Marina Offshore Private Limited and China Insurance Company Singapore Private Limited and another. That means China Insurance Company and another. There's another party as a defendant. Reissue from 2006. Okay, because it's a reissue version from 2006. It's not reissue on 2006, because they reissue it after 2009. So reissue from the 2006 Singapore Law Report, published in volume 4 of the Singapore Law Report, starting from page 689. Get it? Now we get it. Now I'll repeat one more time. So how you explain? You can say this is a case between Marina Offshore Private Limited, just copy, and don't say versus, because this is a case between who and who, not the case between against who or between versus who, right? Not very correct English. So it's a Marina Offshore Private Limited against, or a case between Marina Offshore Private Limited and China's Insurance Company Singapore Private Limited and another. Reissue from 2006 and published in volume 4 of the Singapore Law Report from page 689. Alright? If you cannot get it, you replay the video. Last one. Yay. Okay, last one is you have to practice this. You have to go to the library portal, SP library portal on your computer. I hope this page looks familiar to you. Okay, when you go to the library, what you do, you click the library, right? Then you will find resources. Of course, this is not the homepage of the library. In the homepage of the library, you will find some very nice animated, not animated, some graphic some graphic. Then you click on resources. Okay, you click on resources, you will come to this page. When you click on resources, you come to this page, and then the resources you click, then you will see this. You will see this. All the law material or judgment is all available in e-resources. So you have to click e-resources. After you click e-resources, you will see this page. Okay, and in this page, they are alphabetically arranged here. You don't have to scroll one by one, A, B, C, D. For example, you want to go LawNet. LawNet is a Singapore law portal. Alright, it's created by the Singapore Academy of Law. You can subscribe them, you pay a lot of money, but you're not in SP, you're very lucky. You use it free of charge. There's a good news, right? But the bad news is concurrent usage is limited to 5 users only. That's why if you have any assignment, I need you to use the law report, do it early. I know you all like to do last minute. Tonight, deadline, today, then you do. So everybody, chiong all want to use the law net, only 5% can use. Do it early. So if law net start with L, you go and click L. Once you click L, you click law net and the rest. Internet, IT savvy, young generation like you, I don't have to further elaborate. Go and play around. Okay, same thing. iLaw is a England, is an English law portal. I is from Informa, used to be called Informa Law, and they publish most of them UK judgments. Of course, they also publish good judgment from Singapore, from Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, and some other common law country. Right? They only publish good judgment. They find good judgment. They also publish a lot of Singapore judgment being published by them. Why? Because our judgments are good. That's why. So iLaw, same thing. You click on I, you will see iLaw, then you can play. The next one, you are able to use Halsbury Law of Singapore. Halsbury Law is actually a law encyclopedia. All common law country has got a Halsbury Law. You see Halsbury Law of India, Halsbury Law of Malaysia, Halsbury Law of England, and you see Halsbury Law of New Zealand, Halsbury Law of Singapore. All right. See, you are so lucky. You can go to Law Encyclopedia. This is a portal created by the publisher called LexisNexis. But don't click H. It's actually L. If I'm not wrong, it's L. When you click L, you will see Lexis Singapore. I repeat, you click L, you see Lexis Singapore. Then you see Halsbury Law. Go and play. Okay, go and play. I'm not going to show you how to do it. All right, because you guys in IT, you guys are actually more expert than me. All right. I guess I finished. Yeah, finished already. Yeah, ask question. You cannot ask me like that. You're watching a video, a voice over video thing. But of course, you have my number. Try to call me instead of WhatsApp me, because WhatsApp I need to tap very sian. Talk is easier. But if you really want to WhatsApp me, you call me first. Let me know, because my WhatsApp is on silent mode. I only check WhatsApp once a while when I'm free, got nothing to do, I want to go toilet. Then I go and check. Okay. Otherwise, I don't have the thing. There's a message. It's very distracting, irritating. It's a nuisance. Sorry. Okay, so tutorial will be a different format, maybe in a voice over video or in a website. Okay, I will keep you all posted. Thank you.